One of the most unexpected surprises of this week is of course the Arch Enemy Alissa White-Gluz breakup, and I kinda can't believe that I almost accidentally got to witness their last ever show together, and actually do so from inside.
Arch Enemy destroyed the stage there.
So today, let's take a look at what the flip happened there, discuss Alissa's newest solo single, and then talk about possible and impossible replacements for Alissa White-Gluz as an Arch Enemy vocalist. Here you go. Well, cool guys, as always, please do not hesitate to comment on anything you hear or see in this video, and especially if you disagree with me, because the whole point of our metal program channel is of course to start a conversation. But alright, let's do it. So in case you guys missed what the flip happened there, on November 23rd, so exactly a week after wrapping up their massive tour together with Amorphous and Illuvity, Arch Enemy casually dropped a one-sentence statement across their social media. Simply saying, Arch Enemy have parted ways with singer Alissa White-Gluz. We're thankful for the time and music we've shared and wish her all the best. Wherever there is an ending, there is also a beginning. See you in 2026. With absolutely no explanation. And just a few hours later, Alissa herself also posted, "After 12 years in Arch Enemy, we have parted ways. I am forever thankful to the thousands of amazing fans I have met along the way. Thank you, Beastlands. I can't wait to share what I have been working on with you all, with some big surprises in store. So stay tuned for big news in 2026 and see you very soon." After which she basically slammed the door and immediately opened a new chapter of her career by releasing a new solo single titled "The Room Where She Died." And of course, right after this announcement, the comment section under pretty much every post regarding this news got simply flooded by experts from all over the world who claimed that they knew this all along. That this is something many fans anticipated, knew the exact date when that would happen, and it is basically a no shocker to anyone whatsoever. With many actually even claiming that there was a huge fight backstage at the last concert they did together in Düsseldorf. To which I just simply have to point out, come on guys, this is utter bullshit.
Shame!
First of all, as far as I know, even people very close to the band did not actually know that this would happen. And secondly, well, as a person who actually was present backstage at the last ever concert they did together in Düsseldorf, well, the last part is definitely not true.
You sound amazing, thank you so much!
So no. Although, of course, Arch Enemy, being a huge band they are today, did not take this decision spontaneously. I'm more than sure that that is the case. Still, I'm also more than sure that none of the people who were commenting online about how they expected this to happen on this date actually knew what is going on. Now, that being said, and going back to the announcement themselves, well, in all honesty, they did feel kinda dry. First of all, Arch Enemy closed the comment section under the posts, which I guess is rather understandable. And secondly, if you read Alissa's statement carefully, you'll see that she thanked pretty much everyone around except for the band themselves. Which, well, isn't really the most pleasant thing for all the die-hard Arch Enemy fans. And even more, to close this thing, I have to point out that, well, I don't know whether they did follow each other before this announcement. I simply never checked, but I do assume that they did. But as of right now, Alissa White-Gluz actually does not follow Arch Enemy on Instagram, and vice versa. Which simply leads me to one last thing about it, and I want to point out that I truly hope that there will actually be no bad blood and no bad mouth in each other after this split. Since I know for a fact that many Arch Enemy fans cherish the last 12 years of the band's career, and they loved Alissa White-Gluz in the band. And thus the last thing metalheads overall, and Arch Enemy fans specifically, need today is drama. Which I am more than sure, or at least I hope, that both camps are, well, smart enough to avoid in the future. But nevertheless, from these statements, it's absolutely clear that, both camps were kind of prepared for this, and they have no intentions of slowing down whatsoever. I mean, Arch Enemy are clearly going to make a huge announcement sometime in 2026, or who knows, maybe even before that, and most likely they already know the name of Alissa's successor in the band, of which we will talk in a moment. And when it comes to Alissa White-Gluz, well, she clearly already opened a new chapter of her career by dropping a single which on one hand capitalizes on everything Arch Enemy fans loved Alissa White-Gluz for, but at the same time opening her up from a completely different angle. And I'd actually go as far as saying the opposite from the one many fans knew her for the last 12 years or so. So yeah, to be honest with you, I actually absolutely loved the first track of Alissa's solo endeavor. And although it's not really my kind of music, I'm really happy that Alissa decided to release this track as the first one from the new chapter of her career, as I loved how emotional, personal and open it felt all in one. And I'm very glad that on the first single of her new solo chapter, she first of all, well, utilized her clean vocals, which in my opinion, well, are not really suited for Arch Enemy's music, but that's a topic for a completely different conversation. And at the same time brought to the table exactly what many Arch Enemy fans loved her voice for over the last decade, by blending this emotion and aggression. So yeah, if you ask me, I'm actually really excited to see what this new chapter of Alissa White-Gluz's career will bring to us metalheads. The biggest question of all, of course, remains who will be the next vocalist of Arch Enemy. And here's where it gets interesting. Now, first of all, I actually have to point out that I personally have no idea for sure. I mean, I've heard some things from different very reputable sources, but, well, guys, I respect this band way too much to give it out, whether it's true or not, and I actually respect the people who told me that way too much to say anything about this on the show. So the only people I'll be talking about in this episode will be the ones that many of you fans actually mention in most of the comments online, and specifically on Reddit, because, you know, some of them are actually pretty hilarious.
All right, here's an opportunity to be creative.
Now, first of all, the obvious assumption for many fans would be that one of the ex-vocalists of Arch Enemy would make their return to the band. And many fans actually did get pretty excited that there is at least a possibility of Angela Gosso making her way back into the Arch Enemy family, not only as a manager, but actually as a singer of that band as well. And, well, who knows, there is of course a possibility. I actually saw Angela around a week ago or so, and you know, I mean, I always feel like she's a kind of person who could easily jump on stage and, you know, take that job in a moment, with no hesitation, and she would be incredible at this. We know this for sure. Yet at the same time, the band's announcement specifically said wherever there is an end, there is also a beginning, hinting at an absolutely new chapter of their career. Or of course there is a chance that I'm reading way too much into it. And of course, the second obvious choice for many Arch Enemy fans would be the return of Johan Leva. But, well, pretty much right after this announcement, Johan himself said that he's not the next vocalist of Arch Enemy, and that he was just as shocked to hear of Alissa's departure from this band as all of us were. Which, once again, reiterates the whole point that all of those experts online had no idea what actually is going on in the band. And thus, let's take a look at the other people whom many fans, well, at least from the comments online, seem to be considering the possible replacements for Alissa White-Gluz in the band. With the first one being nobody else but Lauren Hart, a younger modern metal frontwoman who has both the range and presence, though transitioning into melodic death metal would be a bit of a curveball. Who, well, I gotta give it to her, would have brought actually quite a lot of aggression onto Arch Enemy's live performances.
Now is the time to test my faith!
This second possible replacement, which many fans actually would love to see in the band, would be Britta Gertz. And here, right away, I just simply have to point out that, in my opinion, Britta is actually one of the most incredible vocalists in the world of metal today. No, seriously, that woman can sing anything. And I mean, anything. And in addition to everything, well, she's actually from Europe, from Germany, so she would be a great fit for Arch Enemy, I'm more than sure. Although, at the same time, I have to point out that I would simply hate to see her go from Hyres. The third of the possible replacements, according to the comments online, is nobody else but Melissa Bonney, currently of Ad Infinitum and gazillion other projects as well. And well, on one hand, this replacement would actually make quite a lot of sense for people who are familiar with the industry, and Melissa is an incredible vocalist and the front woman. I mean, I've known her for, what, 4 to 5 years or something like this. I had her on the show several times, and I'm always happy to see her offline when we meet. And, well, she's definitely a front woman who can, you know, capture an attention of a crowd, even for, you know, a show like that of Arch Enemies. So, yeah, I mean, it is a possibility, but at the same time, she's very invested into her current project, and at the same time her voice is actually very different from Alissa White-Gluz's. So it would have been a huge change for many Arch Enemy fans, which I'm simply, I don't know whether they would accept this or not. And of course, following the hype around the latest Miss Chile pageant, many fans actually believe that Ignacia Fernandez is possibly the most possible replacement for Alissa White-Gluz at Arch Enemy. I mean, and I gotta give it to them. First of all, well, Fernandez really can sing. And secondly, well, she is currently one of the most spoken of female vocalists in the industry. So who knows, it would actually make quite a lot of sense. Although I personally don't see it at all. And of course, there is one other possibility, because, you know, we metalheads simply do not believe in coincidences. As roughly a day after Arch Enemy announced their split with Alissa White-Gluz, another legendary vocalist left the no less legendary band across the pond, and that one of course being Fabio Lione of Angra, specifically of whom Michael Emmett decided to rename Arch Enemy into Arch Enemy of Fire. But nevertheless, the bottom line of this video is that most of us, despite what we try to present online, have no idea what actually happened between Arch Enemy and Alissa White-Gluz, although there are some assumptions, of course, and we definitely can only guess who will be Alissa's replacement in this band. But the truth is that I'm actually really excited for this split, for some weird reason. Because on one hand, well, truth be told, I actually really want to see Alissa White-Gluz in a new amplitude and see her open her voice from a completely different angle, which she started doing on the first single she released recently. And at the same time, I actually think that the new vocalist can shake things up at Arch Enemy, and although I loved their latest studio album, actually both of their latest studio albums, maybe at the same time this new vocalist will bring much more aggression into their sound, which would be a new and exciting chapter for many Arch Enemy fans. But nevertheless, what do you guys personally think about it? And let's have fun. Whom do you think will Michael Emmett bring into the band next? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!